G'day and welcome back to the 3CIR podcast. I'm Joel, most people call me Slate, and this show is where we take all the heavy, confusing stuff about transitioning out of uniform and turn it into something you can use today.
And I'm Ryan. Mates, call me Jury, and we're here to keep it real. If you're driving on a run or standing at the kitchen bench with a coffee wondering what's next after service, you're in the right place.
Quick reminder of why we do this. 3CIR was founded by ADF veterans who've lived the transition. The 5 things we stand on are courage, commitment, camaraderie, integrity, and respect. Those aren't bullet points on a wall. They're how we treat you and how we run the journey with you.
Exactly. And the mission is simple. Help veterans, emergency services, and civilians leverage what they've already done through RPL and online qualifications so the civilian world gets it and values it. That's what today's about. Qualifications to aid your journey. The whole map.
When you're getting out, the first shock is language. In the ADF, you say section, muster, tasking. In Civiland, they say team, workflow, deliverable. Same work, different words. So today, let's unpack why qualifications are a bridge, not just a certificate you stuff in a drawer.
And we'll get into RPL properly. Recognition of prior learning if you've been searching Defence Force RPL or Army RPL or just asking, can my time count for something? This one's for you.
Before we start, pop quiz. You hear words like leadership, HR, WHS, security, business, marketing, government, project management. What connects them?
You want the answer now, or should we toy with them a bit?
We'll park it for a minute. Keep those in your head. Spoiler, it points straight at something 3CIR does very well.
All right, let's set the scene. Why are qualifications critical for ADF transitions? Not optional, critical. Because your experience is gold, but you need the translation. Employers don't know what Bravo Company means, but they know Diploma of Leadership and Management. They know Cert 4 in Work Health and Safety. They know Security and Risk qualifications.
Right. The paper is not the point. The message the paper sends is the point. It says you're not just former military, you're a professional with nationally recognized skills. That nationally recognized phrase matters. It's the framework industry uses. You put that on your resume and LinkedIn, HR systems and recruiters light up because it matches their filters.
Story time. I had a mate, signals, comms supervisor, absolute gun. In uniform, he ran a small team across multiple sites, did troubleshooting at 2 a.m, handled risk, did training. He got out and hit a wall. No one understood it. He went through RPL, came out with a diploma in leadership and management and a security qualification tied to risk operations. Overnight, the conversation with employers changed from, tell me what a field exercise is, to, we see, incident response and team leadership. Can you start Monday?
That's the bridge. And that's where 3CIR comes in. We're not an anonymous website that spits out generic modules. We're veteran-owned, veteran-operated, and transition is our lane. If you're Army, Navy, or Air Force, we've got pathways designed with you in mind.
Let's decode RPL fast. Recognition of prior learning is basically stop repeating training you've already done in real life. We gather your evidence, map it to national standards, and where your experience covers the ground, you get credit, sometimes full qualifications, sometimes partial, then you top up what's left with online learning.
And it's not just generic leadership. The catalogue is deep. Leadership and management for those who ran teams. HR for the folks who handled postings, leave, discipline. WHS for anyone who lived and breathed safety briefings, risk registers, and incident reviews. Security for Intel, MPs, or anyone managing access and threat assessments. Business and marketing for those stepping into small business or comms roles. Government qualifications for policy planning types, and project management for every single person who ever stood up a task force or delivered an exercise on time with moving parts.
If you've spent time in operations rooms building Gantt charts on a whiteboard, you've done project management. If you've run a pre-start and written a JSA, you've done WHS. If you've coached a digger through performance issues, that's HR and leaderships.
People ask, why 3CIR specifically? 4 reasons from where I sit. 1. RPL for defence members is our specialty. 2. Comprehensive courses across the board so you don't end up with a mismatch. 3. Defence Services Online means the whole thing, from consultation to support, is built for remote, time-poor people. 4. We're not here to rubber stamp. we mentor. We tailor the plan to your goals.
And because we've done the transition, we don't just hand you a certificate and send you into the wild. There's coaching, clarity on job titles to target, and the network effect from a community that's walked this road.
All right, let's answer that POP quiz. Those words we tossed out at the start: leadership, HR, WHS, security, business, marketing, government, project management. The link is 3CIR. We've got video explainers on each and course streams that map to those careers. You can dive into the YouTube channel and binge them if you want a taste before committing.
And they're good primers. 10 minutes of plain English on what the role looks like, what the qual signals, and how your service maps across. If you're new to this and you're thinking, which door do I even knock on? That's a no stress first step.
Let's get practical. Start your ADF transition path with a simple sequence. Step 1, initial consultation. You talk, we listen. Your story, your aspirations, your timeline, the family picture, the budget, the dream role, or at least the directions.
Step 2, the RPL assessment. This is where the nerdy magic happens. We line up your course reports, performance appraisals, quals you already have, position descriptions, even that scrappy folder of certificates you kept in the bottom drawer, and we map them to the national standards. You'll be surprised what counts.
Step 3, enroll. That's not a black hole. It's a guided learning journey that fills gaps, keeps what you already know, and gets you across the line with nationally recognized qualifications. Short modules, online, backed by an actual team you can speak with.
Step 4, graduation, and not just a handshake. You'll leave with paperwork that changes interviews. Suddenly, you've got competitive weight. Corporate roles, public sector roles, or your own business. All viable, all supported.
Let me throw a curveball. Some of you are thinking, I've been out 2 years. Did I miss the boat? No. RPL recognizes what you've done, not just what you did yesterday, and if you've spent the last 2 years in a job that adds to your evidence, that counts too.
Another common one, do I have to start from scratch? Nah, that's the point. If you've been a section commander for 3 years, we're not going to make you sit through basic team leadership theory you could teach in your sleep. We'll recognize it.
How long does it take? Depends on your evidence and your availability, but we've seen full pathways turn around in weeks, not months, when people are organized and responsive. If you're juggling shifts and kids, it stretches, but it's still manageable.
Is it online only? Mostly by design. Defense services. Online means your schedule drives, night owls, early birds, deployment returnees. We've seen every version. The support team is one message away.
Costs. Let's not dance around it. Education is an investment, but RPL avoids paying for training you already did the hard way. Plus, because we tailor the pathway, you don't pay for irrelevant modules. We'll map out a plan with clear costs up front during your consultation.
And if you're thinking, will employers actually care? We've got receipts. We've seen folks step into operations coordinator roles, safety advisor gigs, project officer positions, even marketing assistants who were once battle captains and now translate complex info into human language. The certificate opens the door. Your lived experience wins the room.
I want to pause on confidence because transition messes with it. We're trained to be competent in service. After discharge, you can feel like a rookie in everything. A qualification can be more than permission to apply for a job. It is a reset for your confidence. It tells your brain your skills are real in this context too.
You know what else helps? Hearing stories, quick hits. Army Corporal ran training for 6 years, got RPL into a Cert I4 in training and assessment and a diploma in leadership and management. Now a learning and development officer in mining. Navy electronics tech turned Cert 4 in security and risk operations plus project management, now a site security lead at a major facility. Air Force logistics supervisor got a diploma in logistics and supply chain, moved into a procurement coordinator role with a government contractor. These are not unicorns, they're Tuesday.
Let's go deeper with RPL evidence because this is where people freeze. What counts? Think in 3 categories: responsibilities, outcomes, and corroboration. Responsibilities are your job descriptions, the scope of what you were empowered to do. Outcomes are what changed because you did the work. Numbers help, like cut incident rates by this %, delivered X exercises on time, reduced cost. Corroboration is who and what backs it up. Course reports, commendations, supervisor letters.
If you're light on paperwork, don't panic. We help you reconstruct it. Memory joggers, unit histories, colleagues, training records. We've got a process that flushes the details out of your head and onto a page that makes sense to assessors.
Now, why 3CIR's approach actually works for defence members. We know the difference between someone who's held a key appointment and someone who's done a shadow version. We can speak to what that means. We translate it honestly and effectively, which keeps the integrity of the qualification intact.
We also mentor the future, not just the past. If you tell us you want to go government, we'll steer you toward government and project management streams. If you're all about people and culture, HR combined with leadership might be the move. Security pathway for risk-minded folks. WHS is gold in industries where safety is king.
And business and marketing, by the way, are not just for the extroverts. If you've ever presented a brief that turned a skeptical audience, you can learn structured marketing. If you've ever run an inventory or controlled a budget in the unit, you've got the bones of business.
Speaking of learning, some of you might worry about studying again. Will I cope? Yes, because it's not school, it's adult learning. Grounded in what you already know, the case studies will feel familiar. The assessments are about demonstrating competence, not trick questions, and there's a support team that speaks your language and will not make you feel silly for asking.
Let's drop a few micro tips for building your transition plan. 1. Create a target list of job titles, not companies. Safety advisor, operations coordinator, project officer, risk analyst, HR coordinator. Titles help you reverse engineer what qualifications map to them.
2. Rewrite your resume in civilian language, ditch acronyms, translate ranks into responsibilities, use plain words. If it takes an ADF dictionary to read, change it.
3. Lock in your consultation early. Even if you're 12 months out, you'll get a plan and you can chip away at evidence while you're still in uniform, which makes RPL faster later.
4. Check out the 3CIR videos for the categories we threw down earlier. Short, punchy, and they'll help you decide which lane excites you rather than which lane you think you should pick.
5. Involve your family or a close mate. Transition is a team sport. Tell them what the plan is, get their eyes on your goals, keeps you accountable, and brings support when motivation dips.
All right, let's talk Defence Services Online. Sounds fancy. What it means is we put all the tools from course materials to support chats in one place you can access from anywhere. No long commutes, no office hours only. If you want to knock out a module at 10 p.m., go for it.
And while we're delivering online, the human element never disappears. Our transition specialists aren't chatbots. They're people who will say, hey, that example you gave, let's reframe it because it actually shows a stronger competency if we phrase it like this.
See, I love that we treat each member like family, not to be cheesy, but you can feel it. Tailoring is the difference. You're not a number in a queue. You're someone whose story we want to get right.
Here's a misconception to bust. People assume qualifications are the only thing that matters. They're not. They're one pillar. The others are your narrative, your network, and your execution. But the qualification multiplies each of those. It anchors your narrative, expands your network through industry alignment, and makes your execution legible to hiring teams.
You know what I wish someone told me leaving service? Don't underestimate your soft skills. Discipline, resilience, decision-making under pressure, those show up in interviews and they're rare. Pair them with the right qual and you're suddenly the person who can both handle the storm and capture it on a dashboard.
Good line. Capture it on a dashboard. Keep going like that and we'll have you doing the marketing videos next.
I'm just saying, if you can plan an exercise with 50 moving parts and a tight timeline, a marketing campaign isn't going to scare you. Change the nouns, keep the verbs.
Let's circle back with a few scenario walkthroughs. Picture this. You're an infantry sergeant. Day job was training, safety, operations. RPL maps you to a Diploma of Leadership and Management, Cert IV in WHS. You put that on your resume, target roles like safety advisor or site supervisor in construction or resources. You walk into an interview and tell the story of reducing incident rates through better pre-starts and hazard ID, and suddenly you're not an unknown quantity. You're the candidate who's done the hard yards.
Navy boatswains, mate. High tempo, logistics, safety, people coordination. We RPL into logistics or supply chain and leadership. Now you're looking at warehouse supervisor or transport coordinator roles. You speak to throughput, accuracy, corrective actions. Employers love it.
Air Force avionics tech, systems, documentation, compliance, RPL into security and risk, or WHS, add project management. Risk officer in a hospital network, for example, or maintenance planner in aviation. The latter is clear.
If entrepreneurship is tugging at you, Business and marketing with leadership is a powerful trifecta. We've seen tradie turned owners use those quals to secure better contracts because they know how to price, pitch, and deliver with documented processes.
People sometimes ask if government roles are out of reach. They're not. Government quals demonstrate you understand the public sector environment and compliance frameworks. Project officer, policy advisor, program support. Perfect for detail-oriented veterans who like structured missions.
And for those in emergency services listening, the same deal applies. Your experience in high-stakes environments maps to qualifications that hold water across industries. You're absolutely part of this.
I want to talk about the emotional side for a beat. Leaving service feels like losing a uniform that tells the world who you are. A qualification is a new uniform in a way, but one you tailor. It doesn't replace your identity, it extends it.
And that word camaraderie from our tenants, it's real here. We've seen people connect through the process and keep each other moving. If you haven't had a sounding board since discharge, you'll feel the difference.
Okay, speed round myth busting. Myth 1. Qualifications are just for kids fresh out of school. No. Adult learners are the majority here. Your maturity is an asset.
Myth 2. I wasn't in a leadership role, so I don't qualify for leadership quals. Not true. Leadership is influence and responsibility, not just a rank. If you trained others, ran a task, or owned a process, there's likely leadership evidence.
Myth 3. Online means lonely. We've already smashed that, but to repeat, online means flexible. Support stays personal.
Myth 4. If I don't have pristine records, I'm done. Nope. We help craft evidence. Don't self-reject.
Myth 5. Employers won't get it. They do when it's national, and they do when you present it clearly. That's why we're here.
Big one. When should you start? Now. Even if your exit is months away. The earlier you kick off, the smoother it goes and the more leverage you have when the clock hits zero.
For anyone thinking, all right, where do I click? Go to 3cir.com, hit the consultation link, and if you like dipping your toes first, search up 3CIR on YouTube and find the videos on leadership, HR, WHS, security, business, marketing, government, and project management. They're quick watches, but they'll sharpen your aim.
And if you like the feel of community, jump into our socials, see the success stories, and throw a question our way. You're never the only one wondering it.
Quick open loop before we wrap. In a future episode, we're going to show you how to translate your military achievements into civilian resume bullets that actually ring the bell. It's an art, and it changes results fast.
And we're going to talk negotiation, not haggling, negotiation. How to talk salary, how to ask for training budgets, how to frame your RPL and qualifications as value boosters. Do not undervalue yourself.
Let's leave you with a mental checklist. Do I know my target job titles? Do I have a conversation booked with 3CIR? Do I understand which qualification signals my strengths? Do I have my evidence list started? If the answer is no to any of those, that's your homework, and it'll take less time than a PT session.
Final word from me. You've served with distinction. That doesn't vanish with the uniform. It evolves. Harness your military experience, convert it through RPL into nationally recognized qualifications, and step into civilian life with your head up. You've got more to offer than you think.
And we're right beside you. Choose 3CR and make this next mission the one where you set the terms. Smooth, structured, and supported.
Next episode is going to be a ripper. We're diving into 3CIR's ADF, RPL solutions, the nuts and bolts. We'll unpack understanding the transition from ADF to civilian life, then your worth with ADF RPL, and how 3CIR is your transition partner. We're also shining a light on why use 3CIR for Army RPL with real talk on excellence in military to civilian transition, customized RPL assessments, our diverse range of courses and qualifications, strong industry connections, and that we're veteran owned and veteran operated.
We'll bring success stories from ADF to achievers, step you through beginning your journey with 3CR, and ask the question that matters: are you ready for your next chapter? So line up that consultation, explore the videos, and bring us your questions.
We'll catch you soon. Keep moving forward, stay curious, and remember, the skills you've earned still count. Let's make them count on paper too.
Talk soon, team.